Hello Scrolls fans, my name is Smogan. Welcome to Scrollscast. Today we have a video replay sent to me by Daovalord, so we'll see his vantage point playing against Zakker. Of course, Daovalord, known for being an Order Lord, he is playing a late game Order build with Waking Stones. Unfortunately, since this is not spectate mode, I cannot show you Zakker's point of view, but we'll still analyze the decisions that Daovalord has to make in response to what Zakker plays. He doesn't have a lot in the first two turns. Of course, being a late game deck, that is not a death null by any means. Zakker started off strong with a Vader of the Wild, and then he defends it with a Stagheart, busting it up to 2 health, taking it out of perhaps Kabonk range is what he's concerned about. Not a lot of other reason to play the early Stagheart on a unit that's not right about to attack. Daovalord with the challenging sacrifice decision. Does he sacrifice his late game powerhouse honorable general, and that's what he does, rather than sacrificing his powerful early game scrolls. Plays out a skirmisher in the middle as well. Zakker goes up to resources, gets up a Ragged Wolf and a Stagheart on it as well, so perhaps he was thinking ahead and knew that he had a Ragged Wolf Stagheart in hand, and after playing the turn 2 Stagheart, the turn 3 Ragged Wolf Stagheart would be far more powerful. So that's actually a nice play by Zakker. Daovalord responds by playing a Wings Captain up top here, and Zakker moves both his units to the middle, plays a Kinfolk Brave up top to challenge the Wings Captain, pitches for scrolls, and plays a Vengeful Vader. So very aggressive start by Zakker, lots on the board already. Daovalord will try to hold on. He has a Roasted Bean Potion but sacrifices it, has a Kabonk, so Zakker was right to be worried about it. Two sets of stones in hand. Waking and Warding. The W stones are a key piece of this deck. Basically what Daovalord's deck is trying to do is just totally wall up on 3 idols and let the other 2 fall. Whatever 2 fall first, he doesn't worry about. Defends the other 3. Locks the game down, plays for the late game, and tries to win with really powerful Honorable General combos and things like that. He did play the Warding Stone in front of his Wings Captain to protect it from the Angry Brave. Zakker responds with a Striped Fangbear in the top. Daovalord is able to Kabonk to bring down the Ragged Wolf. Note that the Wings Captain can double move over here and finish it off. Sacrifices his second Roasted Bean Potion for resources, so he'll be able to play Waking Stones in front. Very nice play by Daovalord. He's able to establish pretty good control of the board. Zakker will have to decide if he wants to take out the Warding Stone with the Brave or deal some idle damage. Correctly chooses to leave the stone alone for now. Probably don't want to give too much power to your opponent. Interesting, Elin Vital on the Vader down here, the Vengeful Vader. So when the Vengeful Vader pillages, this super powerful gain 1 growth pillage effect, it will not take damage. So Daovalord will have to find an answer to this Vengeful Vader. Of course, being able to play out a bunch of stuff that blocks really well is a great answer to the Vengeful Vader. If it can't hit the idols, even if you don't kill it, it really can't do very much. But importantly, note how much damage that Zakker has done to Daovalord's idols already. 1 in the middle, down to 4, and then a few others have taken hits as well. Gallant Defender, strong defensive unit played for Daovalord, Wings Captain ready to attack next turn. What will Zakker do to respond? He's on 5 resources, sacrifices for scrolls, and plays a Sister of the Fox to pump up the Wildling, and draw a scroll, of course. Gravehawk comes down, pumps up the Wildling again. That is a giant ball of growth death right now. The Waking Stone taken out by the 3 attackers in the middle. And then, oops, apologize for that. I'll fix the screen. And Warding Stone. Let's see, Daovalord could sacrifice and play double Warding Stone if he felt like it. May just pitch 1 for scrolls instead, but no, he just sacrifices a Warding Stone for resources, plays it in the second one in the middle, and then an Eternal Sword on his Wings Captain, which takes out the Striped Fangbear. Eternal Sword, a phenomenal scroll for his deck, as well as the aggro order version. Still has a focus in hand. Zakker playing more of an enchantment build, it appears, with the Oakblood played on his Relentless Gravehawk, making that a very strong blocker, and if he plays another enchantment on it next turn, a phenomenal attacker. Gets more value out of the Vengeful Vader. He has now gained basically 4 scrolls out of this, because every growth resource he's gaining is worth approximately 2 scrolls. Super, super efficient creature after it's gotten even 1 hit, much less 2. Daovalord has Blessing of Haste. He could go ahead and deal some serious damage with that. Note that he can double move both of his units, and that seems to be what he's looking to do here. Moves them both down. That'll take out both the Sister of the Fox and the Wildling, and then plays a relentless unit behind the Skirmisher of the Ducal I think it's the Royal variety. I can't actually remember, and I can't read the resolution up here at the top. Let's see here. Zakker has lots of attacking units. Looks like he is going to use one to take out the Warding Stone and use, the clever play with the Veteran, so that'll take out the Warding Stone and be returned to his hand. Of course, the Overlord will be drawing some scrolls off of these Warding Stones dying, and then Zakker is also getting quite a bit of idle damage. Playing out another Vader, so that gives him up to 8 resources, and he's only sacrificed for 4, so the rest has come from his Vaders. Daovalord draws Imperial resources. His deck is doing its best to have the Imperial resources come back into the metagame. Of course, it combos phenomenally well with, just the mechanics of Scrolls and also the Waking Stones. Every time it takes a hit, you can try to heal it with an Imperial resources to make it even more frustrating for your opponent to get through. But Daovalord decides to pitch the Imperial resources, instead focusing on building up his army of units. Decides to use a Roasted Bean Potion to take out this Vengeful Vader that's done so much work already, and then plays out the super powerful Royal Vanguard, deciding carefully on positioning, plays it in the 4th row middle, where Zakker currently can't get a hold of it. Note that there is that Kinfolk Veteran in Zakker's hand that he can play out potentially with an enchantment of sort to deal 5 damage. Maybe he has Crimson Bull or just a Champion Ring in hand. But it looks like Zakker is content to deal some more idle damage. He's trying to rush Daovalord down and make it so that he cannot lock down on those idols. And it looks like 2 idols do fall, so Daovalord must now defend all 3 remaining idols. He's done a good job of defending the ones down here, but he needs to get something up here. And unfortunate timing on his 2nd Imperial resources. He needs that Waking Stones. That's why he didn't sacrifice that. Playing the Imperial resources this turn would not help him. Has to pitch it. Waking Stones will almost certainly be played up top, and then his second play, likely a Night Scholar. Note that his units can double move, so he can move them to the middle and take out quite a bit. And with the Bean Potion, this creature actually has 3 moves, so he's able to walk all the way from the bottom all the way to the top, or well, not all the way to the top, but pretty darn close, and that'll take out one of these Vaders. Let's see here. Moves the Skirmisher up 2, and then the Vanguard. Eternal Sword played on the Skirmisher, so that will take out the middle row. Still has the resources for Waking Stones, which I'm guessing that's what he wants to play up here, but he needs to be careful. He cannot leave this bottom idol undefended because there's plenty of haste effects in a growth deck that could just wipe him out if he does so. He would also probably like to defend this 4th row. Doesn't want it to take any more damage than necessary, but he's going to have to make a choice on what to defend. He cannot defend all 3 of these idols right now. He just has to be super nervous about a Crimson Bull effect for a... He actually loses to Crimson Bull if his opponent has it. Let's see if he does, though. I wish I could see his hand, but I doubt his deck's playing God Hand. Of course, that would end the game as well. And I apologize, I misspoke. This Vader does not die because, of course, the Gallant Defender is not attacking right now. Does not have armor 2 because Zakker only has 5 units to Daovalord's 5, but if Zakker plays anything out, the Gallant Defender will gain 2 armor. Doesn't look like he has the game-ending Crimson Bull, so instead sacrificing for scrolls and just playing out more creatures. Here's the Earthborn Mystic, of course very powerful. Wetland Ranger, another powerful unit that Daovalord will have to deal with. Significant idle damage done to the top, brings it into more easy finishing range. Daovalord, saving these Waking Stones, now has 2, and of course a Blessing of Haste. So he could Blessing of Haste perhaps his Skirmisher and do some strong work with that. It would go up, it already has 7 attack, but he may not need to. He's already killing off most of what's important up here at the top. Maybe he plays Blessing of Haste on his... Yes, on his Wings Captain, and moves it up so he can pump the movement of all these units, and then moves it right back down with its effect, so that'll take out the Wetland Ranger. Able to double move his Skirmisher to the top to better defend that row, and still has 6 resources to go double Waking Stones. And that's what he does, plays 1 on bottom and 1 on top. All 3 idols defended. Zakker's done excellent work on dealing serious idol damage, but that might be the turn that the Overlord turns everything around. I don't think there's any possibility of direct idol damage in Zakker's deck to finish off this 2 health idol, but maybe he'll just move his units down here to try to assault both these lanes. Note that if you are in this position, it is always easier as the attacker to target the side that has 2 idols rather than the side that has 1 idol. It's just too easy for your opponent to play 3 units up here and defend this single idol. So intelligent of Zakker to get some stuff down here where it's tougher for the Overlord to defend. But you know what? Defending is what the Overlord does. That's what he does best. And coming up with clever combos with all of his order units. There are so many tricks to the order trade, especially the late game variety. Definitely a tough deck to play. Note that this Gravehawk has survived all this time. Will finally be taking some damage this round. I don't think it will actually perish. The Overlord can't play the Honorable General, but can play a Wings Captain out, or maybe he'll draw with the Knight Scholar rather than kill a unit with it. Let's see, Wings Captain being selected and played out on the 4th row, and the Overlord content to let his Knight Scholar just kill the Ragged Wolf. I'm okay with that play. Just taking out creatures, especially when your opponent's threatening to win the game if they go unchecked, is never a bad idea. Zakker doing his movement before having the opportunity to see what his draws are going to be, but it does not matter. He sacrifices for resources instead. Here's an Oak Blood. That's going to make that creature really tough to kill. And wow, a Verdant Veil on the Sister of the Fox as well. Both the Brave and the Sister are very tough to kill now. And enough damage is dealt to take out the Knight Scholar and deal 2 damage to the Wings Captain. Second Knight Scholar in hand is pitched. The Overlord can play out Honorable General should he choose to do so. Has a speed. He could speed to take out, well, quite a bit. He could wipe out both the units on top here. He could play Honorable General instead with plans to speed next turn. Currently with his positioning, his Wings Captain is being threatened by a number of units, but perhaps that is worth the risk to take out the Verdant Veiled Sister of the Fox. Plays a speed on his skirmisher and a second skirmisher down below, so able to wipe out the majority of Zakker's army. Zakker's going to have to repopulate the board quickly, but only has 2 scrolls in hand. I wonder what they might be. A Vengeful Vader, not super impressive right now, and then a Vader of the Wild. Those have been wonderful scrolls early on, and he had them early on, but right now, not really helpful. Sacrifices his Honorable General. Pulls Imperial Resources. Now is a time where he could safely cast it. Doesn't really have much he can do. He could Blessing of Haste and then maybe Focus to do a lot of damage to these units. Maybe that will be his play. Let's see what he's going to decide to do. We do see the Blessing of Haste come down. Not on the Relentless guy, so Focus isn't really helpful. Actually, well, see, here's why the Overlord's a better player than I am. He noticed that he can focus his captain to get exactly up to 8 and take out the Kinfolk Brave. So Zakker is looking in even more dire straits. The Kinfolk Veteran will certainly help, but that's his only play this turn. Though it was a good one. It takes out both captains, so that was a strong play. The Overlord has complete control of the top. Imperial Resources to gain tremendous scroll advantage. Won't be able to get out another creature this turn, but does defend all 3 idols and is able to take out the veteran and deal a little bit of spillover relentless damage to the unit behind. What can Zakker do here? Has 3 scrolls in hand, 7 resources to play around with, gets out a Wetland Ranger. No follow-up though. Unfortunately, does not have another cheap scroll to play. The Overlord can play pretty much whatever he wants. He's got 8 resources to play with, could even go up to 9, 6 scrolls in hands. Summons could bring out another Stones. Vanguard, of course, is a strong play. He only has 3 creatures on the board right now, but they're really strong, and he can hide them easily behind the Waking Stones to make it really difficult for them to be killed. No countdown reduction in hand. That would be very nice to finish off what Zakker has. Instead plays out the Skirmisher and then a second Skirmisher behind and then on the bottom row. Eternal Sword is what is buffing, by the way, this Skirmisher. I think that got passed by one of the captains from earlier on. Elan Vital comboing with the Magic Armor. Lots of Magic Armor combos in this deck for Zakker. able to draw an enchantment without taking any damage. Wetland Ranger will not be able to get its pillage effect off, so relegated to just dealing a little bit of damage unless he has some sort of enchantment to play on it. Veteran comes down, but even with the veteran, still not enough to kill these units. Let's see, and this is going to be GG for Daovalord. He sees that he is able to get, I'm sorry, I paused him right in the middle of the stones. He sees that he is able to take out 3 idols in 1 turn. So Daovalord's deck working to perfection, letting 2 idols go down while he builds up on the top 3. Zakker did very nice job, but was not quite able to finish it off. Thank you to Daovalord for sending in this replay. Congratulations to both players for some fine plays. If you are interested in having your game appear on Scrollscast, go ahead and contact me on Reddit or on Skype or in-game. My name is Smogan, and thank you for watching Scrollscast.